Well, let's just jump into it. Let's go into the Wildcard Weekend because the games are set to start Saturday at 4. This is like the 11th, maybe the 10th year that the Texans have played on a Saturday schedule. I don't know what that tells them about the Texans, but we'll start there. The LA Chargers at the Houston Texans. When I did this spreadsheet, the spread was 3 for the Chargers. 43.5 is the over and under. Ron, what's your prediction?
I am going with the Chargers here. Houston has not been playing well. CJ Stroud, as you mentioned, has had a sophomore slump. More importantly, they've had a number of injuries at the receiver position, which I think is going to impact them down the road. So now the Chargers are a team that won't necessarily put up a lot of points, so I can see them losing here too. I got a close game here. I got Chargers winning 20-17. I think the defense is going to be the difference for the Chargers. I think they'll do just enough offensively to win the game against Houston.
Yeah, I also have the Chargers winning. I used my KISS method, and I just said, who has a better QB? Chargers. Who has a better coach? Chargers. Who has a better defense? Chargers. So it was like, okay, you're making it really simple. Yes, I agree with you. Chargers don't score a lot of points. They're going to keep this game close, but I have them pulling it off 21-17. CJ Stroud, he had the jips. I don't know what's going on. He doesn't look himself. I do like Mixon a lot, but I don't think Mixon by himself is enough. I think that Harbaugh is going to have the team ready. Even though it's a road game, I still have the Chargers pulling it off. And if the Chargers win, they're basically a wildcard team, so they're going to be on the road no matter what. And we'll skip the Pittsburgh game. That's a Saturday night. We'll go into Sunday. Denver at Buffalo. This is a 9-point spread. 47.5 is the over and under. And let me just say that it's definitely the Chargers-Houston game. I think they'll go under. Denver-Buffalo, 47.5. Ron, what's your prediction?
Give me the over. I think both of these offense can go off. And I'm going to surprise you here. And I just talked about the Bills and how they have a good path to get to the Super Bowl and probably could be seen as a favorite. I'm going with upset here. Two things. One, Denver has had a good season. Their defense is really good. Bo Nix has played well. I think their coach is going to have them ready, prepared with some plays to score points. I also think Buffalo is going to score points, but it's going to take a little bit for them to get going. The reason I'm pulling an upset here, and I know this game's in Buffalo. I know it's a 9-point spread. But I can argue that Josh Allen he's been off for 3 straight weeks, right? He didn't play last week, right? He didn't play against
Well, he started like one series.
Okay.
And not even one series. He did like one play and he was out.
Yeah. And then if you look at their schedule, and I'm pulling it up now, I mean, you can argue like he's had a bye week for 3 straight weeks because they played New England, right? They had the Jets and then they had New England. So, I mean, that competition that they've had for the last 3 weeks has been so bad, right? And I know he played okay and didn't have to do much because those games got out of control, right? But I have a feeling they're going to start off a little bit slower than people think. And I think Denver is going to come out and surprise people here. So I'm going with a sneaky upset here, 33-30 Denver.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And mind you, I've changed this, I went back and forth. I just want to say this, at least 4 times. because it's so hard to pick against Buffalo at home. You would think they'd come in mentally focused and prepared, and I think they will be. But I think, like I said, the competition that they've played the last 3 weeks is almost like having a bye week. And if you're not prepared to face a really good team, and I'm not saying Denver is a very, very, very elite team, but they're a decent team. They're in the playoffs. If you're not mentally focused and not ready, and you haven't seen that type of competition, you can get off slow. And I think, Denver, they're going to throw everything at Buffalo. And it's just a feeling I got. That's why I'm going with that. No, 33-30.
That makes total sense. Total sense, because again, using my method, who has a better coach? Denver. Who has a better defense? Denver. Who has a better QB? Oh, that's where you're like Josh Allen. And that's where, like, okay, Josh Allen kind of trumps everything, because he's going to be the MVP, right? He's not, even though Joe Burrow's probably put up better numbers.
Lamar's up there too.
Josh Allen is going to be the MVP. And I don't think that he wants to go out losing at home in a playoff game. MVPs don't do that. That's the only reason why I have Buffalo winning, because of Josh Allen. Now, having said that, if Josh Allen has a terrible game, Buffalo is going to lose for sure.
Absolutely.
But I just don't see that. Especially at home, especially bad weather, which they're predicting, I like Buffalo to win. I have them winning this game 24-21. I don't see a lot of points, but I see that because Denver's going to keep it close. It's just that having Bo Nix, a rookie in a playoff game, I know that Payne has
on the road too.
Coached him well. One mistake, all it takes is one mistake. Because I think Josh Allen, if he makes a mistake, he can, the very next play, he can make up for that mistake. Yeah. Bo Nix, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know about that.
Listen, I said it's hard to pick against Buffalo and like you said, the potential MVP. But there's just something about, like, at the end of the season, again, the competition. We talked about the Steelers and how, like, I think those games are preparing them for what's ahead. Buffalo, those games against New England and the Jets aren't going to prepare you, for the playoffs. So you better, and Josh Allen's going to be locked in and focused, but behind Josh Allen, it's like a bunch of rookies and second-year receivers, right? Are those guys going to be locked in and focused? Is that defense that's played terrible going to be locked in and focused? I don't know. Now, we could be completely wrong. 9-point spread. This could be a blowout for all we know, but I just don't see the game going that way. And I see you don't see it going that way either. So it's going to be a pretty close game for what?
I feel like it's going to be close, but it's just too much riding on Bo Nix. That's why I have Buffalo winning. The next game, Green Bay at Philadelphia. Philly's favored by 5.5. 45.5 is the over and under. Ron, what's your prediction?
I got Philly winning 26-20. Too many injuries for Green Bay. Watson's out, done for the year. Quarterback's been hurt all year. And I think he's questionable coming into this game. So
Malik Willis?
No, the starter for Green Bay. I don't think I got a 20 score, but I think this is one that Philly can get up early and control the game, and it's a bigger blowout than the score is going to look like. So 5.5 point spread, I think, is about right. I got them winning by 6.
Yeah, I think Philly has the better defense and the better QB, the better running back. Even though Jacobs has been really, really good, I still like Barkley better. Like you mentioned, Love just hasn't been the same. He just lost Watson. So Reed, he can show 1 week, but not the next. So I don't know what they're going to get out of him. I like this Philly team to win. Like you said, maybe win by a lot or get in front and just run the ball. I heard some rumors about Jalen Hurts is not 100%.
He's not.
It's the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Come on. Nobody's at 100%. So don't give... I feel like the excuse train, like, oh, he's not 100%. He wasn't 100% last... It's the playoff. No one's 100%.
But he hasn't played in a couple weeks, though. So that's one thing, I guess, that's in Green Bay's favor is like Hurts has been in the concussion protocol and he hasn't played in a couple weeks. So we'll see.
Yes, we'll definitely see. Okay, Ron. Washington at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is favored by 3.5. The over and under is 50.5 points. What's your prediction?
I'm going over that 50.5 points. And I went back and forth with this. I think this game could go either way too. But I'm going Tampa 31-28. And it kind of goes back to what you were saying about the rookie quarterback. So I'm going to talk on the other side of my behind right now and say I think there's too much pressure on the quarterback here and that Washington defense can be scored on. And Tampa, when things are clicking, I'm not saying things are clicking right now, but they got a lot of weapons, right? Evans is good. Irving is good. Mayfield is a trustworthy quarterback. They have a good tight end. I can't see Tampa, given how they've played and stuff that they've gone through the last 2 seasons, what happened with their exit with Detroit last year. I think they should have won the game in the playoffs. I can't see them losing at home to Washington to a rookie quarterback. I got them winning 31-28. Like I said, it's going to go over that 50.5 spread total. But give me Tampa. I have more faith in Baker Mayfield than I do in Jaden Daniels.
See, I'm also going over with the points, but this is my upset. I think Washington wins this one because we've been watching Tampa all year. Their defense is bad.
But we watched them last year play to like an 8-9 or 9-8 record.
And they were one and done.
But they almost won that game.
They almost did, but they were one and done. I see everything you mentioned is correct. They have the weapons. They have Mayfield. But I don't trust either of these coaches. Obviously, Dan Quinn, there's history there. But Todd Bowles has let me down. He's supposed to be a defensive coordinator, defensive, guru. But this defense hasn't been pressed. The tackling hasn't been there. Washington actually has pretty good receivers in McLaurin. I think Daniels, we talk about Bo Nix not having it. Daniels has it, and I think he's going to run, pass. He's going to have the full deal, the full get up of this game. I have them winning 35-28. I predict a lot of points in this game. And I think Washington, first of all, we're talking about 2 rookies making the playoffs.
Yeah, it's great.
So this is a game to watch because of the points. The last wildcard game, this is for some reason, was it a Monday game last time?
I think so. I can't remember, to be honest with you. It seems weird though, right? Why?
Money. Yeah. We know the answer is money. Minnesota at the Rams, Los Angeles Rams. Minnesota's favored by 2.5. 47.5 is the over and under. Ron, what's your prediction?
Yeah, this game could be moved too, right? So they're talking about the fires in California, potentially moving it. I think they have a backup plan to move it to Arizona. I don't know when they're going to make the call. I would imagine they'd wait until maybe Friday to decide if they're going to maybe Saturday, decide if you're going to have it Monday in LA or versus Arizona. But either way, I don't think there's any home field advantage for the Rams. They never really played with a home field advantage. This game could go anyway. I think it's going to be close. I know Sam Darnold hasn't really played all that well, but I think some of the noise is a little bit overblown. I'm gonna say the Vikings win this game 30-27. They just have way too many weapons, and I trust Flores to get that defense to make a timely stop or two. I think the Rams will score. Puka's good. Kyron Williams good. They just had their other running back that went down though. I think it'll be a close game, but give me the Vikings to win this one, 30-27.
So you think it's going to be an over? They're going to go over the points, 47.5. I have the Rams winning this game because you can tell that I was not really there all last week because I had no idea Jimmy G was starting. I was like, why is Jimmy G starting? Why is Stafford? And then I come to the conclusion that they already won the division. So they like, no, we're just going to sit all our starters and we don't care if we're the 3rd seed or the 6th seed. Doesn't care who we're going to play. We're going to have a home game. So they knew they were going to have a home game. They just didn't know the opponent, right? I think that McVay, first of all, these are two very good coaches. Minnesota has a better defense, but I trust Stafford over Sam Darnold. I trust Puka over Jefferson Addison because Detroit, they shut him down, right? Week 18, they were like, no, you're not gonna pass.
But Detroit has much better defense, I think, than even with injury, they have a better defense than the Rams.
I think that they're gonna scheme a lot. I think the Rams are gonna scheme a lot. I have them going under. I have the Rams winning 24-21. It's going to be a close game, but I think McVay, Stafford is just, even with Brian Flores, I think that's too much. I think, and last week I had Minnesota, well, not last week, 2 weeks ago, I had Minnesota as my number 1 team, and they lost game against Detroit, even though they bought like 1,500 tickets. Didn't matter. It's you play inside the lines. So I got the Rams winning. So I got 2 upsets. I got the Washington and I got the Rams. You have Denver as the upset, and then you pick the favorites for the other ones. So we'll see. Next week we'll do episode 116.
Hey, we still got to do Pittsburgh game. You haven't done that yet.
I almost skipped the Pittsburgh game. All right, let's go and do the Pittsburgh game. Pittsburgh at Baltimore. This is the biggest spread, Ron. 9.5.
Insult.
45.5 is the over and under. I think that's high too as well. Ron, what's your prediction?
I think I've set this up already throughout the podcast about the Steelers, and yeah, they're not playing well, but you got to look at the competition, look at the injuries, look at the play calling, look at a number of things. Pittsburgh, outside of this past game, has really owned Baltimore, right? So I don't care if this game is in Baltimore. I don't care what the weather is going to be like. They're predicting really cold, possible snow. I don't care what Pittsburgh looked like for the last 4 weeks. I think the 9.5 is the insult. I could be wrong. Vegas always is smarter than everyone else, but I'm picking an upset here too. So this is gonna be my second upset. I got Pittsburgh winning this one. I do think it'll go under the 45.5. Give me Pittsburgh to win 23-20. I think Russell Wilson, the offense they won't be like what they did last week and the week before that. I don't think we'll make as many mistakes. With penalty flags and stuff like that. Give me Pittsburgh to win the game in an upset.
Okay, I talked about them not scoring enough. 17 points is just not going to be enough. I talked about Pickens not being involved at all. And if I use my method, both coaches are good. When it comes to the defense, I would pick the Pittsburgh defense. It's better than the Baltimore defense. When it comes to quarterbacks, wow. We're talking about the MVP candidate here. Now, Lamar is 2-6 in the playoffs. Not a great record. So you're saying that he's going to go 2-7 in the playoffs? I just don't see that happening. I have Baltimore winning 28-10.
Wow.
I think that 9.5 is about right.
Whew. Okay.
I don't trust Wilson at all. Against good competition, I don't trust him. And this is pretty good competition.
Yeah.
The last game, Baltimore won by 17 points. I think that
So what happened?
Well, you know, Fields was playing, Wilson was playing, Pickens was involved. I think that you guys were on a run, and Baltimore wasn't ready. And we know Baltimore wasn't ready because there was multiple weeks where I was like, no, they're not a top 10 team. No, they're not a top 10. Finally, they got it together in December, and they were like, no, we are this juggernaut offensive team. We're going to score points with Lamar. With Zay Flowers, with the tight end, with Derrick Henry, which Derrick Henry didn't. This is the first year with the team.
Yeah.
And he's healthy, so I don't know. I think 9.5 is about right. Compared to what we've seen the Steelers lose 4 in a row, 5 or 6 games. I'm sorry. This might be an early exit for the Steelers, and we know Tomlin is just going to sit back and be like, oh, well, I guess
I'll be here next year
anyways. I'll be here next year. Yeah. So with a new offensive coordinator, because Arthur Smith, I think he's interviewing for a head coaching job.
Yeah, he's had a number of inquiries for sure.
So I don't think he'll be there long. So, like you said, maybe they bring in independent offensive coordinator. The thing is that Tomlin is going to have his say no matter what.
He has his thumb on Arthur Smith's neck because there's no way Arthur Smith would not have adjusted last week. And you can tell Tomlin was like, run the ball, I don't care. Just keep running it. Just keep running it. And that has been the case for the last like 2 or 3 seasons. You can say even Matt Canada, you can say, you know, Tomlin was like really dictating what to do in every situation. So, yeah, I think, listen, I'm not saying Arthur Smith is the best coordinator, but offensively, we have looked at, you know, if you compare this year to last year, he did better, you know, calling plays. So, you know, I just think Tomlin needs to like let go a little bit, let Smith do his thing, let Russell cook, and they'll be okay.